Humanity did not fall in a single night. It was erased slowly and deliberately. When the Galactic Concord first discovered Earth, humans believed that they had finally found a place among the stars. We were young compared to the ancient empires, but we were curious, adaptive, and relentless. That terrified them. The Concord judged civilizations not by potential but by predictability, and humans were anything but predictable. We questioned laws, tested limits, and advanced faster than their models allowed. So the verdict was passed in silence. Humanity was declared a destabilizing species. There was no war, no heroic last stand, just exile. A ring of forbidden space was drawn around our systems. Trade routes vanished overnight, and every gate leading outward was sealed. Earth screamed into the void, and the void answered with indifference. Billions were trapped inside a cosmic cage. The empires believed isolation would break us. They believed our cultures would fracture, our technologies would decay, and our spirit would collapse under the weight of loneliness. They were wrong. At first there was panic, hunger, and despair. Colonies dependent on off-world supplies failed, and old rivalries reignited as resources dwindled. Yet something ancient stirred within humanity. The same instinct that once pushed us across oceans and deserts awoke again. If the galaxy would not accept us, then we would build our own future without it. Earth became the heart of a new effort, not a symbol of weakness, but of defiance. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked side by side, not for conquest, but survival. We dismantled luxury and rebuilt industry. We studied alien technologies left behind in abandoned outposts and learned from them, then surpassed them, without outside interference. Human innovation exploded. Artificial intelligence evolved beyond servitude into partnership. Shipyards expanded into megastructures, hidden within nebulae and dark systems. The Concord no longer watched. Children were raised with stories not of defeat but of return. They were taught that exile was not an end, but preparation. And while the galaxy forgot about humanity, humanity remembered everything. Isolation became our greatest teacher. Cut off from alien trade and diplomacy, humanity learned to rely solely on itself. Every failure carried immediate consequences, forcing rapid adaptation. Worlds once divided by ideology unified under a single truth. Survival demanded cooperation. A new governing framework emerged. Not an empire, but a coalition of purpose. Its name was the Terran Resolve. Under the Resolve, research was sacred and stagnation was treason. Energy shortages pushed humans to master stellar manipulation. We learned to drink from the hearts of stars without extinguishing them. FTL travel was reinvented without reliance on Concord gates. Using methods the empires had dismissed as impossible. Human ships no longer tore through space. They bent it with precision and elegance. Our soldiers trained not for glory but for endurance. Generations grew up knowing that one day the walls would open again. They studied alien psychology as deeply as alien technology. Humans realized that fear had driven the Concord more than logic. The empires feared what they could not control, and humanity could never be controlled. So we became something new. Our fleets were modular, able to rebuild themselves mid-battle. Our weapons favored adaptability over raw destruction. Most terrifying of all was human doctrine. We no longer sought domination. We sought balance enforced through overwhelming deterrence. Hidden fleets patrolled the borders of exile space, silently watching the galaxy evolve without us. The Concord grew complacent. Their wars followed ancient patterns. Their alliances were rigid. Their technology plateaued. They saw humans as a failed experiment, a species that burned too brightly and extinguished itself. Inside exile space, humanity burned hotter than ever. When the first long-range probes returned from beyond the Forbidden Ring, they carried recordings of alien broadcasts. The galaxy was fragmenting. Empires fought over diminishing resources. Smaller species were crushed between ancient powers. The Concord was weakening. Humanity did not celebrate. We prepared. The signal was simple. A single human transmission pushed through forbidden space. Carried on frequencies the Concord had abandoned centuries ago. It contained no threat, no demand, only a declaration. Humanity has returned. The reaction was immediate and chaotic. Border worlds panicked, believing ghosts had come back to haunt them. Concord councils dismissed the signal as a fabrication. Until human ships began appearing on long-range sensors, they did not emerge from gates. They arrived from folded space itself. Human vessels dwarfed anything the empires had built in millennia, yet moved with unsettling calm. They did not attack. They positioned themselves between warring factions. shutting down battles with precise force. Weapons failed in their presence. Systems went dark. Fleets froze in helpless silence. The galaxy watched in disbelief as ancient conflicts ended in minutes. Human commanders opened communication channels, speaking with clarity and restraint. We were exiled because we were feared. We returned because the galaxy is dying. The Concord attempted to rally its forces, but its command structure fractured. Under pressure, human intelligence had mapped their weaknesses decades earlier. Without firing a single annihilation weapon, humanity dismantled Concord authority. Worlds long oppressed welcomed human intervention. Others resisted and were swiftly neutralized. Not destroyed, but disarmed. The message was clear. Humanity had not come for revenge. We had come to correct an imbalance. What shocked the galaxy most was not human power, but human restraint. We could have shattered planets, collapsed stars, rewritten borders with violence. Instead, we rebuilt infrastructure, restored ecosystems, and stabilized trade routes. Human technology healed as easily as it harmed. Empires that once ruled through fear now faced a species that ruled through capability. The Terran resolve refused to crown itself emperor. It established frameworks where species governed themselves under mutual defense. Those who challenged humanity learned why exile had been a mistake. Human fleets adapted mid-conflict, countering alien tactics within moments. Artificial intelligences coordinated battles across light years with flawless precision. Yet humans remained at the center, making decisions no machine could predict. Ancient empires crumbled not because they were destroyed, but because they were obsolete. The galaxy evolved faster in a decade than it had in 1,000 years. Former Concord leaders stood before human councils, not as prisoners but as students. They asked the question that haunted them all. What did exile give you? The answer was simple. Time. Time to grow without interference. Time to fail and recover. Time to become something the galaxy was not ready to face. Humanity did not reclaim the galaxy. It reshaped it. The Forbidden Ring was dismantled, not as a symbol of victory, but of closure. Earth was no longer the center of power, but the heart of memory. Humans spread across the stars once more, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Species once ignored now had voices. Wars became rare, not because conflict vanished, but because escalation became impossible under human oversight. History recorded the exile as a warning. Do not cast out what you do not understand. Children across the galaxy learned about humanity, not as monsters or saviors, but as a reminder that resilience can surpass tradition, that isolation can forge strength beyond imagination, and that those who are exiled may return not with hatred, but with power refined by patience. Humanity had been cast into the dark, and in that darkness, it learned to become the light.